the novel has such a wealth of information in terms of the characters that you don't see in the play, all this backstory. And for me, that was that was a resource that was invaluable. It was what I went to anytime I was thinking about, how to approach a certain scene, or even just how to phrase a line of dialogue. Yeah, I've seen the movie many times, and haven't seen it recently, thankfully. I mean, of course, it's approaching this play. You've got kind of that iconic figure of Jack Nicholson's performance kind of looming over you, But I felt like I was able to put that aside. I find what's funny. I find myself sometimes I'll find myself in the middle of a performance, and this little voice in the back of my head will be like, "Wait a minute, were you just doing Jack Nicholson there?" So maybe there's this kind of residue still there of what I remember of his performance. But I think I really am trying to make this thing my own,
And for me, it's hard to escape the vision of the chief portrayed in the movie, Will Sampson. Sometimes I can't get him out of my head, and I'll forget what I look like. And I'll go to the mirror and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you look like. You don't look like him, because he is really an iconic figure. I mean, especially in the Native community.
Well, theater is something that has been with me for quite a while. I kind of knew from a very young age that it was what I wanted to do, and it was something that I was good at. And turned out it was the only thing I was good at. So I stuck with it. I mean, I knew, probably from the age of 7 or 8, that it was something I wanted to do, and I just stayed on that track. Went to college for it, went to grad school for it, and been trying to carve out a career for the last 18 years here in Philly, and it's been a blessing, a real blessing to get to do it.
Wow, lucky you to get to know so young. I had no idea. I had no idea until I was in my 20s, and it wasn't even a conscious choice. I literally had a phone call. Someone had heard about me, and I think it could have been my mother. It probably was my mother saying my son's an artist, and so they called me at this big moment I needed a change in my life, and asked me to join their theater the following day. So I packed up my apartment, and I went and I joined a Native dance theater. And then that was it. And even times when I tried to go into other fields, in film, behind the scenes stuff, or other things, I went to school to be an artist, a visual artist. And every time I tried to go back to that, something would pull me back, And literally, that's what happened every time. And then instead of fighting it, I just went with it.